Welcome to Smashterpieces, a casual walk through the history of the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate roster. My name is Joe.
And my name is Matt.
And if you're new here, what we are doing on this show is we are playing one game for every character in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate from 1984's Duck Hunt to 2017's The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And today's episode is part 4 of our discussion on our game representing fighter number 61, Cloud, the 1997 PlayStation 1 game, Final Fantasy VII.
We are coming up in the home stretch. We can feel it.
I can feel it so much that literally right after recording this episode, I'm going to go finish the game.
We are so close to the end of the game that we may even record the final part before this part comes out.
Yeah, it's, I'm kind of looking forward to finishing it. Not just because, like, we've been playing this game for a really long time. It's been since August, I'm pretty sure.
No, it was September, definitely.
September? Okay. I think it might have been the tail end of August, but then mostly in September, yeah.
Our Mario 64 episode was released on September 16th.
Oh, never mind then. Fuck me. So it's been since September. That's still like September, October, November, December. That's still 4 months. So that's still nothing to sneeze at. So we're both kind of ready to be done with the game, but that's not to say, like, I like this game a lot, honestly. I have spent so much time grinding. I am completely ready to fight Sephiroth, but we're not here to talk about fighting Sephiroth. We're here to talk about some of the stuff that happens before you're even given the chance to fight Sephiroth.
Oh, we're talking about, like, basically everything between the end of Disc 1 and when you're getting ready to fight Sephiroth.
Yep, so we are going straight from the beginning of Disc 2 to the
return to Midgar.
Yeah, right before you're supposed to jump into Midgar, which I kept accidentally triggering when trying to do a side quest yesterday.
Wait, how do you accidentally trigger going into Midgar?
So, I was working to get Cloud's strongest weapon in the game, called the Ultimate Weapon, and this will be really fun. To do this, it is Cloud's ultimate weapon. It is called the Ultimate Weapon, and to get it, you have to fight the monster known as Ultimate Weapon.
I hate video games.
So, what you do is you find him, like, in a crater outside of Junon, and then you fight him, and then he runs away halfway through the fight. And then he starts flying around randomly on the overworld, and you have to crash the high wind into him 3 or 4 times. And then he will go to his next destination, and he will stop where you can hit him again, and then start another fight. And this repeats about 4 or 5 times, and I kept flying over Midgar, which is the trigger for, all right, time to go. So I kept having to restart the game. I did get it, though. Cloud's the only one that didn't get experience from finishing the fight because it does a big attack when it dies that does like 7,000 damage.
I'm probably not going to bother with all that.
I wanted to make sure, without a doubt, I'm going to beat the final boss when I get to him.
I mean, we can just cheat if it looks like we're not going to.
Oh, yeah, totally. But I want to, like, make sure. Because the cheat they give you still doesn't work if he can kill you in one hit.
Fair. But, I mean, I don't see how your ultimate weapon is going to change that.
I'll do more damage to him. I also ground up to, like, level 61.
That's still not going to mitigate the cheat doesn't work, but you do you.
You don't know that. It could in my life. Let me put on more materia.
We've got some story stuff.
We do. We have quite a bit of story stuff.
So over the course of this part, I got really excited about Cloud's character arc, and then really angry about Cloud's character arc.
Now, see, I have a different theory for a different interpretation of what that was. And I might be completely out of my mind with it, but we'll see.
So we get to, I forget where the geographic location was, but it's basically where Sephiroth's body has been this whole time, which raises an interesting question of, hey, we've seen Sephiroth, what's up with that? Which I believe that question still has not been answered yet, right?
I think it's just other clones of Sephiroth, I think is what it's supposed to be.
My theory was that maybe, well, no, if Cloud's hallucinating, then
the other people wouldn't have been able to see him.
Either way, we know now that the original Sephiroth is dead. And has been since before the game began.
5 years, I think, is what Hojo says.
Yes. And so I guess the Sephiroth that we have been seeing over the course of the game probably is a clone. You're probably right. But the reveal is that the reason that Sephiroth is able to control Cloud is because Cloud is a failed clone of Sephiroth. And my interpretation of that the first time through, which is the actual text that they say, it was that Cloud, as an entity now, was created 5 years ago in the attempt to create a clone. But then the reveal later is that Cloud always existed, and instead he was just infused with whatever soldier is, like whatever becoming a soldier is, and that was an attempt to like turn him into Sephiroth. And I like that a lot less, because I thought that the way that they explained it, where Cloud was not there in Nibelheim with Sephiroth, and everything that Tifa remembers of Cloud being there was the Genova's power sort of magically influencing her memories into believing that Cloud was there. And then obviously Cloud, as the conduit for this power, he himself believed that as well. And I really dislike the reveal that no, actually Cloud was there. He was just one of the nameless mooks, or the faceless mooks rather, because he was too ashamed to show his face to Tifa because he failed to get into Soldier.
So I had a weirdly different interpretation of that scene, and I think yours makes more sense, but I don't know how I came to my interpretation, but I kind of like it, which is I don't think that version happened either.
You don't think the new version?
Yeah, I think that was just, all right, let's come up with a scenario that means, yes, you were there. I just didn't know you were there. And you weren't in everything that Sephiroth has told you is technically true, but also everything you remember is technically true. And that's kind of how I interpreted that.
I would appreciate that more, but if that is the case, I don't think that the game really made it clear enough.
I could see that. I could agree with that.
If that is the case, it'll definitely be a lot better. But the way that I see it was that the truth is that Cloud was that faceless guy, and that's sort of reinforced for me by the fact that Cloud is the one that killed Sephiroth in that memory. Which if we take the memories of the flashback from earlier that we now know to be what happened to Zack to be true, then that would mean that it doesn't really make sense, because what we presume happened to Zack is that he was killed by Sephiroth there.
Yeah, I suppose that makes sense. I will say, in connection to this section kind of turned into Earthbound, where it was like, what, you want party members? No. My party for most of the game was Tifa, Cloud, Aerith, and then within the span of 3 hours, Aerith dies, Cloud disappears, Tifa stays to take care of Cloud. And so my party had to become Barret, Red 13, and Sid.
I don't think I've used Sid in earnest the entire game, except these few times where you're forced to use him.
I think I literally just used him because, fuck it, I haven't used Sid. Why not? Let's do it. We both have the same party that we plan to take to the end of the game, I'm pretty sure. We're both rocking Red 13, Cloud, Tifa.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they're really good. Red 13's currently serving as my healer, as well as just he's really fast, and so he works out really well with that. Cloud is the guard, and I also got the double cut materia, which is really, really good. And I wish I could level it up to get 4 times cut, which basically means that every attack he does twice. He performs attacks twice when he does regular attacks. It's really good. And then Tifa and Red 13 both have their final limits. Tifa's I would recommend getting because it's painfully easy. And I just already had Red 13s, and I don't know why or how. I don't remember where I got it. I just already had it. Tifa's is painfully easy. You just have to go back to her house and play the piano. That's literally it.
Sick.
And Clouds, I'm not getting Omni Slash because it could eat my ass. You have to go through the battle square and you have to win it multiple times.
Just cheat.
I tried, and you know what that got me? So here's what happened. I went into the battle square, and I was like, I don't care, so I'm going to hit the cheat button. I don't care. The roulette gave me Toad on first roll.
Sick.
And Toad, you need another item to fix it. Another person needs to use an item on you to fix it. You can't use an item yourself.
You can still attack, though, even if it's like going to take an hour now, right?
Oh, yeah. But then, in like the 8th round, I fought one of those pirate ship motherfuckers, and they have an attack where they pick your character up and throw them out of the fight. And since Cloud is the only one in the fight, it's an automatic loss, and there's nothing you can do about it.
That sounds like horse shit.
It sure fucking is. I was so mad.
This game did not age as well as people think it did.
That was like the instant I was like, oh, Omni Slash isn't worth it. Fuck this. It's apparently crazy fucking strong. Like, it's his final smash.
Yeah.
It's a big, important move, and it's not worth it. Like, Final Fantasy seems to have this thing where they like to lock the strongest shit behind the most mundane, shitty challenges, because I'm also playing 10 right now. In fact, like, pretty much the day after I finish 7, I'm probably going to turn around and finish 10 the next day. And to get Tidus's strongest weapon, you have to do chocobo racing. And chocobo racing in Final Fantasy X is the fucking worst thing I've ever played in a video game.
Is it worse than chocobo racing in Final Fantasy VII?
Yes.
That's an achievement.
The chocobo moves forward regardless of what you do, and you can sort of steer it with left and right on the D-pad. And that's how you steer your chocobo. And there are balloons on the stage where if you get the balloon, it subtracts 5 seconds from your total time. But there are also birds, and if you get hit by a bird, it adds 10 seconds to your total finishing time. And in order to get Tidus's strongest weapon, you have to finish the race with a total time of under 0 seconds.
That's illegal.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it is. I wish active harm upon whoever put that in the game. To get Lulu's strongest weapon, you have to go to this area called the Thunder Plains and dodge lightning 200 times in a row without ever messing up. Final Fantasy's just really bad at this. And like that just never changed, I guess. So yeah, that kind of gave me like reminders of that. But then like you hit things like Tifa, where it's like, go play the piano. All right, here's her level 4 limit. Congratulations.
Sounds great. You know, I'll do that right now. I'll go. I'm going to get my Switch. I'll do it right now.
Well, you have to play a specific tune.
Oh my god. You made it sound so easy.
It is. You just gotta go look up the tune. There's such a disparity between those two. I don't know. I do like the High Wind, by the way. Even though it controls really weird, it never controls the way...
very poorly.
We both have the same problem, I feel like, where we both feel like it should control different than it does, and forget that it doesn't every time we start the game.
Yeah, I don't know like if the controls made more sense on the PlayStation, but it sure doesn't make sense now on the Switch.
I wish that the D-pad was just used for directions, and it was A and B that were used to change altitude, instead of that being completely switched around.
There's also, for me, the thing that when you accidentally press the button to go inside the ship, you can't just, like, in addition to the long loading time that sucks, you can't just press a button and leave the ship. You have to go talk to the dude.
Yeah.
Which I appreciate. I appreciate that the pilot's level has been raising over the course of the game.
Mine says level 14 limit break. I don't know what that means. I don't think it means anything, but it's said that for like the past hour of in-game time.
I mean, I guess that your pilot's at max level.
I guess. I don't know what that means. It hasn't seemed to change anything. But I like the airship overall. I think having it is like finally, this map is navigatable.
Navigable.
Yeah, sure, that one. That word. Finally, I can go around the map and not care because the buggy and the tiny Bronco both sucked to navigate with. So, what a breath of fresh air. And I guess the submarine technically exists if you really think about it.
It's weird that you get the submarine after you get the airship.
Yeah, especially since the submarine can literally be used in one area.
And I get that the submarine opens up new areas that you couldn't get before, but it's still like the airship's, in my head, it's supposed to be the end-all be-all for travel.
Same. But then you get this submarine, it's like, yeah, but it only goes to this small area. Don't accidentally run into Emerald Weapon, because he'll fuck you up.
I did run into Emerald Weapon.
You know what the recommended level is for fighting Emerald Weapon?
Too much?
80.
I see.
That's the recommended level that you should be to fight almost any of the weapons, except, weirdly enough, Ultimate Weapon.
What?
Because I was able to fight Ultimate Weapon at 60 and had no problems.
Okay.
But like even with the cheat, I decided to like, how strong is Emerald Weapon? And I went and turned on the cheat and like just wanted to see how it went. Wipe my whole party in one attack.
I see.
Immediately. It was crazy. Final Fantasy's always had those like super crazy strong optional bosses. And I'm fine with super crazy strong optional bosses, to be perfectly honest. As long as they are not a blockade of my progress through the story, I don't care.
Yeah, they're cool.
Well, I think honestly we learned who Kate Sith really is, which sure. You've stated that you don't remember who Reeve is. I think he's the leader of the Turks. I think he's who Elena has a big heart-on for.
I don't remember Reeve's name being mentioned at all before now.
I'm pretty sure Reeve is the one that Elena wants to bang. But that's the only thing I remember about him. He hasn't done like anything. He's the one that went to Aerith's house in the flashback and was like, "Hey, you got to give your kid to me. She's an ancient." That was him.
Oh, that makes sense.
I don't think they mentioned his name in that scene either, but that was him. So yeah, that he was Kate Sith. I now have even less understanding about how controlling the Kate Sith body works. I don't think it does.
No, I don't think it works at all.
Because how are they going to do that in Remake? Is he just controlling it with his mind? Is that what it is? I don't understand. And like they played along, so I feel like this cutscene, this game knew that people were going to give like goofy voices to some people. I think in some way, I think they knew. And so Kate Sith for me, he talks like this. And because I am a well of zero creativity and a dried up well of creativity. And so when you first find out that Kate Sith is Reeve, and Scarlet's like, "You're sort of talking strangely, Reeve," I took that in my headcanon for meaning, "Hey Reeve, why are you using a goofy clown voice suddenly while talking into your like sleeve?"
For me, the Kate Sith voice is more of a used car salesman voice. So instead I just did the same voice but at a slightly lower pitch.
Somebody pointed out to me that Kate Sith 2 was the perfect chance to finally change up my voice for Kate Sith, because when we learned he was a spy, I was like, oh, well, my voice he's holding a child hostage. My voice isn't really fitting anymore. Not that I'm gonna stop it. And then somebody was like, Kate Sith 2 was the perfect chance to change it up. I was like, I don't care. This is his voice now. forever.
I still... Kate Sith 2.
Kate Sith 2.
You think they're just gonna do that in remake?
Oh my god, how is that scene gonna look in remake? That won't work in a voice-acted cutscene.
I think they'll just move Kate Sith 2 to later.
Maybe. It'll probably be like once they've all like gathered or something. I don't know. That's a good question. Now I'm looking forward to that shit.
What were we talking about before we just started complaining about Kate Sith again?
We were talking about Reeve.
Yeah. Him.
He exists.
He sure is a Kate Sith.
Oh. Mentioning Scarlet reminds me. Hey, yo, did you win the slap fight? Also, what the fuck?
Let me check my stream. I don't remember that at all.
How could you not remember?
Oh, no, I remember there was a slap fight. I don't remember it being interactable.
Oh, it was. You probably lost then. You had to press A for Tifa to slap.
No, I'm looking at it now. I knew. I'm watching it. I don't know the answer to your question. I'm watching it to find out.
I won. When I was talking to Ben about it later, he apparently did not. He lost.
I lost.
But what the fuck? What the fuck was that?
That was, it's the 90s, and we don't know how to write women.
I think what you mean to say was that was art.
And we don't know how to write women.
I don't know why that's kept only to the 90s, but
well, it was the 90s, and we could like make this happen, and it's not that out of place.
That whole part was so fucking weird. That entire part of Tifa having to use like, I think that was a clever minigame. It sucked. Things can be clever and still suck. That's the unfortunate truth of the world. But everything is a minigame.
I'm looking at the part where where Aerith is taken away from her parents, and it's not Reeve, it's Hojo.
It's Hojo?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
I could have sworn that was Reeve.
I'm like, I'm desperately combing through our footage to find a single appearance of Reeve. I'm pretty sure he's never been mentioned before.
Well, all right.
Like, can you name any other time he would have shown up?
I think he showed up at one point to talk to the Turks in the cave right after getting past the giant Cobra Man. I think he shows up to talk to the Turks, because you encounter Rude, Reno, and Elena, and I think Reeve comes out and talks to them, and that's the first hint of like, oh, Elena wants to bone this dude.
Oh yeah, I see him. There he is. That was like 15 hours ago, and he was never mentioned again.
He's the head of the Turks. That's all I know about him.
Was I supposed to remember this man?
Well, I mean, I imagine you were supposed to not play the game over the course of 3 months.
Wait, no, hold on. This man's dialogue box is Tseng.
Shit, no, you're right. That is Sang. Sang is the head of the Turks.
Who's Reeve?
Who the fuck is Reeve? Oh my god. I can't believe this. How could you do this to me, Sakamoto?
According to the Final Fantasy wiki, he protests to President Shinra about destroying Sector 7 and framing it as Avalanche's attack. In an executive meeting, he tries to assert his views, but finds himself alone and is told to take some time off. Reeve leaves the meeting in anger, as Sector 7 has already been reduced to rubble, and President Shinra decides to leave it in its current state. The next paragraph is, Kate Sith joins Cloud's party.
God damn it. Well, shit. I guess that answers the question. You were supposed to remember him from that scene in the first, 4 hours of the game.
He's gonna be in Remake Part 1.
Jesus Christ. All right.
Snowboarding's fun, huh?
No.
Let me ask you a question. Did you bother even trying? Because I put the controller down, and it worked.
I did the whole time thinking, hey, yo, how long is this? How long is this? Oh my god, it's still going. At a certain point, I started thinking, am I doing something wrong? Did I go down the wrong path and I'm going to end up at the entrance?
Snowboarding's really bad.
Everything's a minigame. I think in terms of music, I've only got 2 songs that I was able to think of that I felt needed mentioning, which we are probably going to mix up once again how we talk about music with the next long game like this. Because as we were talking about this before the recording, I don't think this worked out as well as I hoped it would, but it's fine. This takes experimentation, but I really like the High Wind Takes to the Skies. It's the airship music that plays when you're on the airship and when you're flying the airship. I think it's really good. It's really like, it has this feeling of the world has opened up to you, even though you've already been to almost every part of the world by that point.
Oh, that's reminding me. So there's that change of the overworld theme music. Because Meteor is gonna come and kill everyone.
And Meteor's always visible on screen, basically.
Yeah. Like, that's kind of cool, and a lot of the NPCs in the game reference Meteor now.
Mm-hmm. It's entirely like, oh, the world's gonna end. I love the shopkeepers that are like, yeah, the world's gonna end, but I mean, you gotta pay rent. Can't just not pay rent.
That's exactly how it would work.
That's exactly how it would fucking work. Because what if the world doesn't end? What if in the small chance that the world doesn't end, that happens, and then you just didn't pay rent, the world didn't end, and now you are homeless?
This game's got some wild proper nouns, like meteor and weapon.
I want to know how much of those are specifically, like, just a localization thing.
Oh, probably none of them.
Japanese doesn't do proper nouns the same way we do, does it?
Well, that's correct. The way that they do it is they just put in English words.
Hell yes.
You know I'm right. You know I'm trying to find a confirmation.
So. God, I hope so.
Okay, yeah. They just call it weapon.
Yes. Yes. I love it. I love it every time. I have one other song that I wanted to bring note to real quick. Because I think it's not the best song, but for some reason it kind of like struck a chord with me, and I'm not sure. And it's Launching a Dream into Space. Takes place during like the scenes where Sid finally got to go to space. He didn't deserve it. He's a dick, but he finally got to go into space. He finally realized that, damn, Shira was right and smart, and I probably should have listened to her from day one.
Even though we, as the players, commented last time on how what the hell, Shira?
Yeah. So that story still didn't really get a redemption so much as now Sid's not mad at Shira.
Sid's entire character arc just doesn't work for me in this game.
Yeah, I agree. But he might as, like, honestly, you get him so fucking late, he might as well be a goddamn side character.
Yep.
He exists only so that they can have a character that can fly the airship. That's literally it. That's why he's here.
I don't even see that as a necessary character to have in your story.
Well, so like, if you talk to the crew members of the Highwind, they're like, yeah, Heidegger's an asshole. We don't want to work for him anymore. And then, like, you guys walked in with the legendary pilot Sid, and we were like, well, fuck this. And we fucking did a mutiny and gave the ship to Sid. So he's very closely tied to why you get the Highwind in the first place.
Yeah, but that's only there because they wrote it that way. I feel like they had a reason for this character first and then wrote him afterwards.
Well, I think the character that brings the airship is a trope in Final Fantasy, because 6 has it too. 6 is Setzer.
I guess. Okay, if it's a Final Fantasy thing.
10 doesn't really have there's a character named Sid in every Final Fantasy. Every single one.
Yeah, just like Biggs and Wedge.
Pretty much, yeah. I'm trying to think of, like, it's like the guy in Pokemon that always talks about how science is amazing. It's that, but a character. But yeah, this song, I really like it. It's very sort of emotional, and I don't know. I don't like Sid all that much, but I do like this song. And those are the only songs that really stuck out to me, because we get one of my favorite songs in the game next episode. I'm really looking forward to it.
I mean, it's the song.
It's the song from the game. Funnily enough, not in Smash. Thanks, Square.
Most of the songs we've talked about aren't.
We talked about the 2 songs in Smash back in part fucking 1. By the way, fun little trivia piece, real quick. There is only one song in the entire game that gets VODs of this game demonetized on YouTube.
And what is that?
Take a guess. Give me a guess.
If you're talking to me about it, it's something stupid.
It is a song you hear quite often. It is the only song in the entire game that seems to give it.
Aerith's theme, I don't know.
No, it's Fight On. The boss theme is the only song that gets a copyright strike.
Oh, it's a good thing that I play it at the beginning of my stream every single time.
Not even Let the Battles Begin does that.
That's okay. Fight On's a better song.
Far as I'm aware, One Winged Angel doesn't even do that. So that's fun. I figured that would be a fun little trivia tidbit for all you kids out there that are trying to make a YouTube channel. Just mute Fight On every time. Otherwise, Square gets all your money. Not that we make any money on those videos anyways, so I don't care. But I don't have anything else to talk about for this part. We are so close. The finish line is in sight. In fact, I'm doing it right after this. I'm going to go get something to eat, and then I'm going live. Not that that matters to anybody hearing this right now, but by the time this episode goes out, I will at the very least be done with Final Fantasy VII, and there's a possibility so will you.
Probably. Honestly.
So, like, that's just so people are aware. By the time you hear this, likely we've both already finished the game. So if you tweet like any advice to us or anything, it's too late. But I'm very much looking forward to hearing One Winged Angel in game, because for some reason that just means a whole hell of a lot to me. I don't know why, but like I feel like the act of hearing that song in game where it is supposed to be heard is going to be kind of a cool experience for me specifically as somebody that's just really into video game music. I don't know. It's going to be cool.
Man, Rufus just fucking died, didn't he? I was just thinking about that.
Which one was Rufus?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Rufus.
Yeah.
Him. Yeah, he sure does fucking die. And with that, you can find us on only one of the main antagonists of the game.
Is he?
He'd like to be. Emphasis on he would like to be. You can find us on Twitter and on Facebook and on YouTube at Smashterpieces. You can find us at NintendoWorldReport.com or on our website at anondino.squarespace.com. This episode was edited with major assistance from Peter Spacia because he is the best and I owe him my life. And that's really it. You can find me on Twitter at TheDebaga. You can find Matt at Grimace Duminis. You can find my streams at Detective Dobaga. Not that will matter for the rest of the year, because, spoiler alert, after we finish Final Fantasy VII, we're going to take a break until after New Year's. So while we will do the pre-talk section for Game & Watch Gallery before then, we're probably not going to play it until like mid-January. So just heads up on that. And you can find Matt doing his streams of Final Fantasy VII and other things. We both do other streams on this channel at twitch.tv/Nintendo World Report. It's, it's cool. I stream indie games sometimes. Rufus just sort of dies, doesn't he? I assume Scarlet and Heidegger are almost also dead, but oh no, they're not. It shows them after Rufus dies.
Yeah, they're both alive.
Yeah, okay.
And there's like a power vacuum now.
Yeah. Well, with that, my name is Joe.
My name is Matt.
And we will see you next time for the finale of our discussion on Final Fantasy VII. The Final Fantasy of the Final Fantasy VII, you might say. You wouldn't say. Nobody would. Bye!